So how about we put our blankets in an 8th fold like this? And have the short edge of your blanket lining up with short edge of your mat, but about a foot of space above so that we can put our head there. So 2 blankets like that. 8th fold, stack them up. And then let's sit on the very front edge of the blankets and lay down to where the shoulder blades, tip of the shoulder blades touch the blanket and then the shoulders fall to the floor above the blanket. Arms go wide and see if legs go long, if that's okay for you there. So this just allows a gentle front body opening here. And if having legs long is too much in your low back, then you can put your blocks under your thighs for a little bend, or you can bend your knees all the way, putting your feet flat on the floor. So let's start with some cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale blowing out the lips. Slower breaths. Starting to soften the body more. Letting low back settle. Letting the lower ribs settle. Allowing your legs to get heavier, as well as your arms. And ease the throat and neck. Now let's exaggerate the inhale. So in your inhale, you're filling up front chest, front ribs. And take your time for that, so make it slow. Followed by a complete exhale. Besides the breath, let the whole body get softer and heavier. Exaggerated inhales. Take a fuller in-breath than you thought you could. Now, easy breaths. Use restful breathing, restful bodies. Soften your jaw and your eyes, scalp. Relax your butt and your inner thighs. Deep breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. And then you start to bend the knees. And so we still have the blankets underneath us. So take your feet wide to the edges of the mat, keeping your knees bent. Keep your arms wide, pardon me. Now, we'll do some windshield wipers here, but if having the hips elevated on the blankets makes that too intense, then just remove the blankets if you need to. Start to rock the knees side to side. Starting to press the knees toward the ground a bit more firmly and take a pause before switching to the other side. Allow front thighs, front hips, hip flexors to open well. Okay, we'll bring our knees up and go ahead and roll to one side and push yourself up to tabletop. And we'll do some reverse cat and cow. So inhale your head and hips down, exhale head and hips up. Inhale head and hips down, exhale head and hips up. Get the biggest range of motion in the spine that you can. Biggest curves. Both ways. Inhale head down, exhale head up. Involve the shoulders more, so more movement in the shoulders. When you lift your head, pull your shoulders back to spread your collarbones wide. When you drop your head, push your shoulders down towards your hands to spread your shoulder blades wide. Let's all come into cat back. So head down, tuck your butt, lift the belly, breathe into your back heart. While you're up in that arch of your spine, you can gently do a full body wag. Just let your hips wag one way and shoulders wag the other way. Or maybe they go the same way at the same time, whatever's comfortable. Just to stretch your back a bit. We'll come to neutral spine, drop to elbows. Circle wrists and ankles. And circle the other way. Okay, so let's turn to face the long edge of your mat. And we're in tabletop here with hands on your mat. So scooch back if you need to, so hands are on your mat. Inhale, left arm goes high and wide. Exhale, face the floor, reach underneath you. Inhale, high and wide. Exhale, face the floor, curl underneath. So just keep moving with your breath, allowing the ribs to turn, the head to turn. Strong breath through your nose if possible. When you lift the top arm, push down firmly with the bottom arm so that you're engaging both sides of your back muscles. So we'll do one more and we'll take a thread the needle twist. So we let that arm reach underneath you. Left shoulder settles to the ground, left ear settles to the ground. Right hand flat to the floor, right in front of your face. Your top elbow is out wide and push down with both arms and start to rotate your heart to the right. Trying to stack right shoulder on top of left better. So right shoulder pulls back toward the wall behind your heart. Deep breaths. Slow breaths. Our lungs are compressed right now, so we're utilizing the deeper breaths to increase our lung capacity. Do one more breath. Soften. Right hand pushes into the ground to come back to neutral and elbows to the floor. Take a big breath. Neutral spine. One more breath like that. And then tabletop again. So we'll do right arm goes high and wide with the inhale. Exhale, curl underneath you, reaching. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, reach underneath. Push down firmly with that bottom arm when you're lifting the top so that both sides of your back is working for you. Letting head turn, letting ribs turn. We'll do one more and take the thread the needle twist. So right shoulder to the ground, right ear to the ground. Left hand out in front of your face, your top elbow is out high and wide. So we want the front chest to stay wide, not collapse toward the floor. Start to push down with both arms and rotate the heart to the left. Pulling that left shoulder back a bit more toward the wall behind you, behind your head. Then exaggerated breaths. Slow breaths. You always have the option to use a blanket to build the floor up to meet your shoulder if your shoulder is not reaching the floor easily, or if you're uncomfortable. You can do 2 blankets if needed. Let's do one more breath. Soften. Push down with your left hand to come back to neutral, elbows settle. Take some satisfying breaths. All right, so from here, let's sit down on your feet if you can into rock pose. So legs are together, sitting on your feet. You can always roll up a blanket and put it under your ankles if your ankles don't like this. Or you can wedge in a blanket behind your knees and close if they just need a little bit of support. Or you can sit on your blocks between your feet, have them wide. Looks like this. Or you can even put blankets on top of that, on top of the blocks and sit on them. If rock pose is not working today, just find a comfortable seated position. Let's exaggerate some belly breaths. So bellows breath, inhale, swell the belly big, exhale, squeeze the belly strong. Inhale, swell the belly, exhale, squeeze the belly. If you're on your heavy days of your menstrual cycle, you want to stay with your normal ujjayi breath, your yogic breath, just long, slow breaths. Or if you're maybe pregnant, you want to stay with your normal yogic breath. Otherwise, we're exaggerating the abdominal work here. Stretching when you inhale and squeezing when you exhale. Do one more breath like that. And then we'll just relax. Easy, comfortable breath, soft shoulders. Take a big breath. So we'll lean forward to elbows and circle your feet. You can circle your wrist too if you want. Circle the other way. And so we're going to come into a standing tabletop. So if you want to grab your blocks and put them under your hands at any height, you can. We'll dig the pads of the toes into the ground and straighten the legs to stand up. And so the legs are straight, arms are straight, spine is straight. So you can have your hands on your blocks at any height that feels best to you. Just get long lines there and allow the backs of the legs to open. So feet right under the hips and hands right under the shoulders. So standing tabletop. So Vicky, you'll want to walk your feet forward more. So your hips are right on top of the feet. Yeah, there you go. Flat back, straight legs, arms long. Nice opening through the backs of the legs. So if you want to, you can explore with some movement forward and backward here. You can keep your feet flat on the floor while you do that, or you can rock your feet back onto your heels and up onto your toes. It's up to you how dynamic you want to get with that. Keep your head down. If you do rock up onto the toes, keep your head down. Come into good form in tabletop. So hands right under the shoulders and feet straight down from the hips. Bend your right knee, left leg straight. Lean your hips to the left. Pull your left hip back, so lengthen left waistline. So we're diving into that left leg. You might feel that in the glute. You might feel it on the back of the leg. You might feel it on the side of the leg, or as well as the low back. Breathe well. If you don't have enough of a stretch, you can always fold more with your spine if you need more. But slow breath. Let's take one more breath here. And switch legs. So left knee bends, right leg straight. Lean your weight into the right foot, hips shifting to the right, and pull the right hip back. You might feel that stretch in the low back, the right glute, the back of the leg, side of the leg. Slow breath. If you need more, you can fold more. Take a big breath. And we'll straighten both legs. Step your hands forward about a foot and slowly lower the knees to the ground. We're taking a lunge now, right leg forward, low lunge. You need your blocks under your hands, use them. You need cushion under your back knee, use use a blanket or a pillow. Take the longest lunge you can, so back knee as far back as it can go, front knee lines up right on top of ankle. And soften that left hip. Slow breath. Let the spine get longer, including the neck. So try not to slouch here. Gently extend the spine out the top of the head. Hips getting even heavier. Let's get a little more active here. So front heel grounds well. Start to pull that heel back as you tuck your butt from your belly and push your hips straight forward to the wall in front of you. Deeper breath. One more breath. Soften and shift your hips back. Switch legs. Left foot forward, low lunge. Back knee as far back as it can go. Rock your hips forward and let your spine get longer. Softening the front of the right hip. Get a little more active. Front heel grounds and pulls back as you tuck your butt from your belly. So it's a real subtle action there. Push your hips straight forward to the wall in front of you. Lengthen the spine. Soft face. Take a big breath. Rock the hips back. Both knees come to the ground. Elbows down to now. Full body wag. Head, shoulders, feet, and hips wag side to side. You might rock the legs out. Shake out the legs. Okay, so from here, bow down. Keep the hips up high. Bow down. Reach the arms forward. Forehead to the ground. Puppy dog pose. Reach the fingertips as far forward as they can go, and then see if your elbows can settle down to the earth. Starting to soften shoulders. Swelling breath. Try to soften shoulders a bit more. Okay, we'll lift the head and slide the arms back. Elbows underneath you. Lay down on your belly. We need a blanket near your head. Deep arm line stretch. So let's start with right arm straight up, wide to the side, palms face down. So straight out from your shoulder. Chin to the floor. The left hand is right beside your breast. Elbow is bent and elbow is in close to the body. Feet together, chin to the floor. Roll up onto your right side. You can grab that blanket and put it under your head. Trying to stack left leg on top of right, left hip on top of right, left shoulder on top of right. Softening the right shoulder well. Deep breaths. Think of breathing into the right lung. If and when you need more, you can either bend your right knee and stand on the floor behind you and let that top hip lean back. We're just allowing more weight onto that right arm. Trying to soften right shoulder even better. Slower breath. We'll do one more. And rolling back onto your belly. You can, we're having a cough-a-thon here. Stacking hands under the head, either chin or forehead. You can rock your hips side to side. Take a big breath, relaxing. And we'll do the other side. So left arm straight out wide from the shoulder, right hand right beside the breast, right elbow is bent and then close to the body. And we roll up onto the left side. Grab that blanket and put it under the head if it feels good. Try to stack right leg on top of left, right hip on top of left, right shoulder on top of left. Soften left shoulder even more and slow down your breath. You can always stand on the floor with your top foot behind you. Lean more weight back onto that back arm. Try to slow the breath down a bit more. Take one more breath. Returning belly back to the floor. You might rock your hips side to side. And then just relax, take a few breaths there. And we'll push ourselves up. And let's take a reclined back bend for our ending pose. Let's have blanket in an 8th fold again. This time you're going to take the long edge and fold it in half. So makes this rectangle here. We're putting that crossways under your heart space. So about brow line or bottom tips of the shoulder blades. You can do 1 blanket or 2, depending on how supple your spine is or how long your spine is. So the blanket is going to go under the rib cage. So shoulders fall off the front edge. So the top of the armpit is where the top of the blanket comes out from. And here you can have your blocks close by if you like. So I'd like for you to try recline cobbler's position. That's when the soles of the feet come together, knees open wide like a book. You can use your blocks under the outer legs to support or up close to the hip. So remember, if 2 blankets is too much, remove one and just do 1 blanket so that you're comfortable. And we allow the breath to slow down as the body softens. You can always cover your eyes with something. Let's let low back fall. So unclench there. Let the legs get heavy. You always have the option to have the legs long. You can put blocks under the thighs just for a little bend in the knee. So if reclined cobbler's position is not working today, choose a different leg position. And slower breaths, softer bodies. Allowing the mind to slow down, calm down. Let the back of your neck unclench. Jaw softens. Eyes soften. Back heart softens. Shoulders and shoulder blades soften. Letting your body get twice as heavy, twice as soft. You'll allow your breath to deepen. Wiggling toes and fingers. Stretch or move in any way that would feel good for you. And rolling to one side. You might use your blankets under the head now for support. Letting spine be neutral. Take some satisfying breaths. Let's push ourselves up to sit. And once you're comfortably seated, we'll gather palms together at the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Namaste.
Namaste.